Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Aquamate channel. Today, I'm going to be splitting the bioscape CO2 generator amongst two of these tanks, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. So other than the obvious reason of being able to use one CO2 generator to look after two tanks' plant growths, the reason I want to do this is one tank over here is overrun with hair algae. So we're going to do a little bit of a cleanup, and then we're going to add the CO2 and try and, over the next coming weeks, really take care of those plants and see if we can get them back on top and get the tank back to the balance that it needed to be. Before this hair algae just went nuts. This one over here, a lot of you have seen this tank. It is my favorite tank in the fish room, on the channel, everything. It's doing really well without CO2, but I have the ability to add it, and I'll get those reds on the AR Mini popping a bit more, I think, and really just take this to the next level. So I've got here a CO2 diffuser. That's the one that came with the bioscape generator. There's the bubble counter. So basically I'm all set up over here. We'll just plug this in. But what we're gonna do is cut a line in here. We're gonna add a three-way air hose thingy, joiner. But look, you can get better quality ones of these. I will probably upgrade that in the future, but for now, I'm impatient and I want to do it now. We add another line to this, and I picked up this little guy today. Like, it is tiny. It's a twin star CO2 diffuser. It'll be enough though for a 50-litre tank. I might upgrade it in the future, but look, it wasn't very expensive. It's gonna help us for what we want to do today. So really, all the technical stuff today is pretty obvious. We just want to make sure that we've got enough room. So I'll put this in the tank over there and figure out where I want to cut it to make sure that this line and the tiny miniature diffuser will reach this side of the tank. I want them to sit next to the filters because it helps disperse the bubbles throughout the tank. If I have it at the other end, there's less movement at that end of the tank, so the bubbles are just gonna float straight to the top. To do that, I will cut it with a trussly. To do that, I will cut it with my trusty Stanley knife. Insert this, put this on the back, set it up, and let's have a look at it. And yes, there's some new projects going on here. I'm not gonna look at these, but I'll show you these in a lot more detail in the next couple of weeks. Look at this. This is me being absolutely destroyed by hair algae and losing motivation on how I can fix it. So I'm gonna clear out a bunch of this. This is the tank from the intro. What a great job. Look, everything in is pretty happy and healthy, and even a couple people like, I like that tank the most because it looks really natural. I hate the hair algae. I want to get this carpet back. It is wreaking havoc with everything. It just comes off in clumps. I'm going to pull it all off as much as I can, and then we're going to top it up because it's obviously stuffing up the filter's flow as well. I'm going to clean this up as much as I possibly can, and then we'll add the CO2 and get this tank ready for success, ready to get that balance back in the plant's favor. This is the other tank. You can see everything's doing pretty well. I haven't trimmed it at all. I get nervous about trimming. That's probably the next step with this tank. Once I add the CO2, everything's growing, everything's doing well. Once I add the fish, you can see I have one molly in there. I was getting picked on by the fighting fish over in the other tank. So this is what it looks like without CO2. It has been 4 months, I think, now set up. So a lot of people were saying, look, those plants are not going to work without CO2. It does work, but let's make it look even better. So operation successful. Look, I'm getting a few more bubbles out of this one because it's the closest one to the CO2 generator. Probably what I should do is try and measure out the air lines, make them exactly the same, and I might get a little bit of a better reading, but it probably needs a bit more CO2 than this one at the moment. Anyway, you can see that disgusting hair algae. Let's hope that this method's going to work, really looking after the plant and removing the algae and getting the right balance back in the iwagumi. This one you can see is a little bit orange brown looking. The light is a white light, so that's not the light. It's a bit of an algae bloom. It's still going through its balance as well. Basically, we want to improve the growth of the plants so that we get on top of that too. So be sure to stick around. We'll check out these two tanks in a couple of weeks and see how they're going. We'll check out these things and I'll show you exactly what they are. And I've got a build going on in there that I'm going to try and finish by the end of this week too. So thank you very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And remember, if you get new fish, always acclimate them first. I'm Josh from Aquamate. I'll see you soon.
What a wonderful world.